Now, I'm not talking financially. I am talking, this is purely as a fan. I grew up as a big time baseball fan. You know, the Dodgers are my team, been on my team since I was fucking a nut. Prospects that baseball might become not my favorite sport anymore is something if you told 7-year-old Jordan he might shit his pants and cry. But it has slowly, that's not that baseball is a bad product. It's just that the UFC, the level of competition that they put on every single Saturday is so much more than a random game on Tuesday. You know what I mean? But playoff baseball is still the best. Anyway, off topic. The UFC being one of the greatest products on television every Saturday night is something that you can rely on. The question I want to ask to start off this video is, when was the last time it felt like the UFC stuck to its script? Now, I'm not saying it's fucking scripted and like, oh, whatever, it's rigged. No. I mean, when was the last time a champion fought a number one contender and the outcome of that fight ended with 0 questions besides, can the person that won do it again, right? Fights that come to mind immediately were Merab O'Malley at the Sphere, where Merab beats Sean O'Malley, and the first question isn't, oh, you know, but this happened to O'Malley during camp, and this is bad, and, you know, whatever, right? It's, what a great performance by Merab. Can he beat O'Malley again to really solidify this win as, you know, true, right? Because that's what happens, right? When a number one contender beats a champion, you have to be able to prove it, right? Kind of back it up, especially when that champion is really good and pushed by the UFC and has Dana White privilege. When a champion beats a number one contender is, who is next in line and why do they deserve a shot? Now, I feel like for the past year and some change, the number one contender has never fought for the belt. Most famously, Arman Tsarukyan and, you know, Movsar Evloev, right? I'm not gonna fucking Movsar Evloev. Movsar, the Russian dude, that fucking dates 13-year-olds. The fact that he hasn't fought for the title yet, that both of them haven't fought for the title yet, is borderline ridiculous and like a suable offense. Honestly, like it's bad. It's bad. And I know you're gonna sit there and a rebuttal is from Dana White that the UFC doesn't make the rankings and the rankings is whatever, it's bullshit, right? But that's just false. It's false. It is a falsified propaganda based there by Dana White because like, what you're gonna sit here and tell me that Arman Tsarukyan isn't the most fit guy to fight for a championship at 155 pounds? We're gonna sit there and say that? But back to what I was saying. Recently, it feels like when we finally have the 1 and 2 guys face each other in the division, some bullshit occurs, right? Cyril Gane poking Tom Aspinall on the eyes and getting a title shot against Alex Pereira. Joshua Van knocking out Pantoja by breaking his arm. He didn't knock him out, but that's what it's going to say forever. TKO. Joshua Van. Now, unfortunately, he is hurt and he won't be able to fight Tyra, which, barring Pantoja coming back, is a 1 and 2 matchup in the division. Merab Petr, you know what? That's a good answer. That is a 1 and 2, really fighting for it, right? At the time, you can't deny that Petr was the number 1 contender. Again, another question leading that fight, which is what you want is, can Petr beat Merab again? Unfortunately, Merab is hurt. He broke his nose and is fucking gonna wrestle Henry Cejudo. That got canceled. So what the fuck is going on? I don't know, man. Sometimes it feels like these divisions move so slow that it's like we're definitely not, like, every time you think, okay, we should be hearing some bantamweight news in the next couple weeks, it's like, oh, this person's doing this person's injured, so we're not going to get news for another 2 to 3 months of even like rumors or bullshit or speculation. I don't know. I don't like the spot the sport is at with how much time people are taking. And then you want to talk about fighter pay. Like, no, you're supposed to fight 3 to 4 times a year. As a champion, you're supposed to fight 2 to 3 times a year. What are we talking about? Oh, I just want to fight in January. I think I'm going to come back next fucking September. What are we talking about? You don't need that much time to prepare for a fight. You're just, I don't know. The UFC is not a good product right now. And I hate to say it. I skipped this week's fight because I saw no interest. There was nobody. Okay, there's like 2 people on the card that I was like, I want to see them fight. And even like the shitty Apex cards, if the main event is shit, there were 3 to 4 fights where I'm like, that guy is must see TV. You know what I mean? And that I'm not getting that anymore, and it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Where, like, obviously, if you go to Canada, you have a guy that is Canadian that is able to main event in Mike Malott, which. Is he able to main event? I mean, we kind of just saw it. He beat Gilbert Burns, and now he's ranked. He's going to be in the top. I don't think top 10. I think like around top 11. Yes, right? We'll give that to you. And I get that you're going to load it with the best Canadian talent that there is, which is like 10 guys. But you got to give me something, right? You got to give me something, right? I don't know. It's so frustrating because I want to tune in every Saturday. I want to so bad. I love the sport. I want to talk about it. I want to watch it. I want to consume as much content that there is available. But it's so difficult when everything has been leading to UFC White House. And I get it. And the card looks amazing. Josh Hokett, Derek Lewis on it is fantastic. I'll get to that in a second. But there's so little fights right now that I'm like, I cannot wait to see that. I'm not even that hyped for Hamzat Strickland. I'm hyped for it. I'm not that hyped for it, right? I'm not going to make sure I cancel every single plan and I'm doing nothing to watch that entire card. Damian Penis. He is confirmed to fight on International Fight Week along with Gable Stevenson. If Penis starts off those prelims and Gable Stevenson starts off that main card, you have me in my seat for the entire night. I don't know. You know what I mean? But if you put Penis in the middle card of a fight night, you have me sitting down watching prelims to a fight night. Because that guy is must see TV. You have to see his penis. Should I go to International Fight Week holding a sign that says I love 185-pound penis? This video gets fucking 50 likes, I'll do it. When was the last time the UFC was on script, man? Strickland Hamzat seems like a perfect opportunity for it to get back on the road, especially at 185 pounds. What division is on track right now? 185 has players. You know, Drakus needs to find a fight. Imavov needs to find a fight. You know, Joe Pyfer is now injected himself in the top 8 with no Paulo Costa. There's so many more fights. There's not a lot more fights you can make. I would have loved to see Joe Pyfer versus Paulo Costa at 185 pounds. That sounds awesome. But now Paulo Costa has moved up to 205 and beat an undefeated guy in Azamat Mirzakhanov. Jan Blachowicz is out with his fight, and he's a top 5 guy. So what do we do with Carlos Ulberg? What are we gonna do? There's 205. If you are in the UFC and you are a 205er, I would move divisions immediately because you are cursed. Heavyweight, Alex Pereira is doing his best to fucking big backpack that shit. Because if he goes out there and he knocks out Saragon, which I believe he can do and will do, you're looking at the biggest fight, literally and figuratively, in the promotion in the past 10 years, right? Excluding Conor McGregor. Tom Aspinall, fucking Alex Pereira you market that correctly. You get tens of millions of viewers on that fight. I guarantee it. But I don't think the UFC is going to do it, right? I don't know. Welterweight, there's so many players at 170, and there's no fights being made. What are we doing? Michael Rouse needs an opponent. Islam needs an opponent. Fucking Ian Gary. What happened to Shavkat Rakhmonov? There are so many things that need to come together to make a perfect division. And it seems like right now, 185 is the only division taking hold where people are accepting fights, taking fights, not falling out of fights, and where the obvious matchups are being made. Now, it's time to subvert expectations every once in a while. 145 is also in a very great division. It was in a very great spot. We finally have Mozart should be getting a shot, right? Correct? Lerone Murphy needs to figure out what to do. Gene Silva needs to figure out what to do. Diego Lopez, Steve Garcia, amazing fight. And it leaves people... Yair Rodriguez really needs to fucking figure it out. Why is he showing up at fights and not have one signed? What are we doing? Stay home. So yeah, I don't know. I just needed to rant about this. The sport has been pissing me off to an unbelievable degree. But I love it. I love it so much. Fix the product a little bit. Make the fights people want to see. You know, fighters, nut up, fucking. I don't know, man. I can't even say nut up. They're fucking UFC fighters. They're gonna do punch me in the face. Yes, I hope so. Honestly, I'll make a fucking clip. Yeah, it's been real. It's been fun. UFC, fucking get your shit together, man.